Hello, DM Geezer Jim here, back for another entry in our audiobook reading. We're reading through Uncaged, The Faces of Sigil, an excellent NPC catalog from Planescape back in the second edition. We're reading through each story. Um, they're presented in different styles, different formats, different. Each of the stories is a little bit different in how they're told. This is actually written as an autobiography. The next person we're looking at is the Grixitt. So let's read through the story, then we'll read it word for word. What's on the page will come out of my mouth, and then at the end of it, we'll talk about gameplay mechanics, some ideas behind the NPC, the stories, and how they tie into a Planescape campaign overall. So let's get to it here. The next up is the Grixitt. I don't know how much longer I can go on. My nightly attacks on the portals of the city leave me spent. I sleep most days away, hiding in this grubby hole until nightfall, when I prowl the streets once more. So many doors to close, to destroy. They call out to me, glowing orange and deep violet light of anti-peak. Only my eyes can see them so clearly. They're what made my mission clear. My ugly, mismatched eyes, one black, one blue, were a gift to a century of expansionist descendants, our chance to finally strike back at the lady. Each door I close, I slam in her face. I'm losing myself to this mission. I am only what I do. I forget to eat. I've forgotten my name. So many times I've scrawled an X, the symbol of my adopted name, the Grixitt. At the scenes of my crimes, I cannot remember any other. My previous life is destroyed, like everything else. But the lady was not as successful in ridding the plains of the expansionists as she thought. When she exiled our beloved Factal Timlin into a maze and forced us from Sigil, her attacks only strengthened the bonds of the remaining group. Some say we fled to Ysgard like children, but I know better, for in that realm of Vanaheim we shared only hatred of the lady, never fear. That was 1,000 years ago. They're all dead now, I'm told, and the lady has no doubt forgotten. But I am here, and I haven't. I am the last of my breed, like the night-drinking Grixits of Ysgard, the small black-furred mammals hunted to extinction for their warming pelts. But I'll not be caught so easily. When I lurk at night, I hide within fitted layers of black clothing, a cloth scarf wrapped around the bottom of my tight black hood, nothing but eyes and nose. I've often unwound my scarf to use as a rope. Soft leather slippers silence my footfalls. The magical ring on my left hand makes me a poor target. I wear fingerless gloves ready to climb up and over anything at a moment's notice to make my escape. Each day I hang from my doorway by my fingertips for as long as I can to build their strength. I have no other protection but stealth, and I am a petitioner with no hope of rebirth if slain here. They are all against me. Ramander the Wise wants to kill me. Each portal I close is one less he can sell. The shrewish fiend Shemeshka and all of the bullying factions, except the anarchists and their cordial gatekeeper Lysandra, want to put an end to my annoying pranks that disrupt travel and trade routes. And of course, there's the Lady of Pain. I don't know why she lets me go on. If she thinks me insignificant, she is mistaken. Perhaps she thinks this fire will burn itself out. But my flame will continue to flare wildly. My attacks are random without end. Some nights I strike directly at the bounded space of portals, breaking up a doorway in an alley, setting a wooded armoire aflame, chopping it down a twisted arch of razor vine. Other nights I merely close popular doors temporarily within my planar wards. One spoken word and the door stays shut for weeks. I gathered a number of wards on Ysgard, and now the portals I destroy yield more, their deaths making it possible for my work to continue. It's as if the doors themselves want me to succeed. It appears someone else does as well. Packages containing tools of destruction have begun to appear on my doorsteps. Axes, torches, bricks, blades left while I sleep during daylight. 4 days ago, I woke from a fitful dream to hear rustling noises directly outside my door. I froze in panic and could not stand it a moment longer. I flung open the door, ran down the street and up a tree before looking back. A peach-skinned Githyanki ran in the opposite direction. She dropped a bundle she was carrying. It made a terrific metal clanging as it hit the cobblestones of the street. An hour later, a borrower noticed my package and took it away for himself. Though my door was open, I hid in the tree's branches until nightfall. I don't have much contact with others. I do need to support myself, though, so on occasion I don bright garb and face the light of day. The headaches from my squinting are maddening. To sit at the Speckled Rat Tavern. No one knows me by name there, but the alesmith recognizes my silver pieces. He sends primes and planers alike to me for the only current portal maps in the cage. Between the doors that appear at the lady's whim, those that close my own, and those that shift from corner to corner like a pickpocket, it's not easy to keep up to date. I'm often still crossing portals off of a map as new customers walk up to my table. There are times, though rare, that I encounter bystanders while I'm in the middle of a kill. Usually it's a hapless group of adventurers who stumble upon me as I take too long to close a door, relishing the bittersweet taste. If I cannot flee, my only defense is to bargain. Sometimes I buy their silence with coin. More often I agree to block or destroy a portal of their choosing. Celestials send me after portals to the lower planes. Fiends invariably target doors to the upper planes. Faction members call for the death of strategic portals in the grip of a rival faction. But I feel panic growing inside me whenever I'm distracted from my tasks for any length of time, and it grows harder now for me to rest during the day. My mind churns with the thoughts. It's as if the dead expansionists have crowded into my skull, poking me with sharp sticks, urging me to hurry, calling out, "Remember Timlin, the lady must pay." These dead voices call not for expansion, but for containment. I sit up in my bed and wait for night to fall. Then I wrap myself in black and go outside to tell the lady that her city of doors is closing. And that's the end of that. That's the end of that little story. It's a short autobiographical presentation. The Grixitt talking about themselves and their unending task of closing down the doors. So, what does this mean for a Planescape campaign? Just simply a picture of the portal system. The city Sigil is called the Cage. It's also called the City of Doors. It has access to, literally, a DM can grant access to anywhere in the multiverse, anywhere in their multiverse, using Sigil. Doorways, portals, etc., open and close all over the place. So, the first thing that, in my opinion, that this story shows is that there's unrest within Sigil. We already kind of know that. But even people are willing to stand up against the Lady of Pain, the ultimate power within the city. The Grixitt does this by closing down portals. In addition to closing portals to piss off the lady, she does it on demand or for a fee for others. That still benefits the Grixitt, as they are solely focused on basically turning the City of Doors into the Cage. If there are no portals, if there are no ways in and out of Sigil, then the Lady of Pain ceases to really have any influence outside of Sigil. Sigil ceases to have influence on the multiverse as a whole. The expansionists can then thrive without their main enemy, the Lady of Pain, still lurking in the background, as it were. The reference to the expansionists, a faction that is no longer there, is a little bit of a nod to the book The Faction War, a campaign that kind of alters the face of Sigil. It was published back in the second edition days. There's a lot of history that goes into the factions in Sigil. At one point there was 27, now there's 13, so on and so forth. Factions rise, factions fall, up and down. So the Grixitt is a human. They are a planar. She is a female, even though they refer to themselves as a they repeatedly. Armor class 2, special abilities, special equipment, planar wards, and a strong ring of protection. They can typically be found selling maps and information at the Speckled Rat Tavern or skulking about at night destroying city portals. The Grixitt is so driven that she's lost herself in pursuit of her missions. She seems a bit shell-shocked and surprised by contact with others, always trying to avoid such meetings by looking down or away from people. When forced into an encounter, the usually silent Grixitt bargains feverishly and nervously to bring an end to the meeting, offering options in quick successions. The Grixitt avoids combat at all costs, fearing a premature end to her life and death's work. If she can't bargain her way out of a situation, she'll try to escape by any means possible, often losing pursuit in a frantic chase through the streets and across rooftops. She can be connected to Laris Arn, Deject Nalar, and to Lysander the Gatecreeper and Alluvius Ruskin. A couple of the other NPCs that will feature through the book that may end up dealing with the Grixitt. So what does she mean for our players? Very simply, the Grixitt's activities are going on kind of behind the scenes along in parallel of our party's actions and activities. If you're playing in Sigil, odds are your players are going to be leaving the city to and from, sometimes needing to leave faster than they really want to, sometimes needing to leave in a situation where people don't know where they're going. The Grixitt is a great source of, if you decide not to use Lysandra the Gatekeeper, the Grixitt can also act as a source for locations of portals, locations of crossing points. Where do we really need to get out of town, we really need to get down to the fourth layer of hell. rumor has it you can only get to the first layer of hell before you go down, but we heard that there's some secret exchange, blah, blah, blah. So she's your MacGuffin. She's your map to the city's transit, as it were. Not necessarily going from a bar to an armory, but from Sigil to Stygia, from Sigil to Acheron, from Sigil to somewhere outside on the gate camp, Tirna Og, something like that. So she can definitely feature heavily in your gameplay if your players are detached from factions, working as independent agents, as it were. Then the Grixitt can substitute in for those factions, providing locations and gate keys to get in and out of the city. You can also be an antagonist if your party's is a member of one of the factions. They will be suffering due to the Grixitt closing down portals. Maybe they need to go somewhere, and the Grixitt shut down several of the portals, so they have to go 5 planes around to get to where they need to go. At that point, the Grixitt becomes not necessarily an antagonist, but a problem for your campaigns. But ultimately, this is a study of not a study. This is a brief look at the portal system, and that not all is well with the portals. The Lady of Pain opens and closes them at will. Apparently, she is aware of every entry and exit into the city, and is able of closing and opening them herself. The Grixitt is posited as another individual that can close them. Now, closing them is a little bit more of a challenge than opening them, apparently. But through the wards that she carries, she's able to close down portals. But that's it. Interesting story. I enjoy it. Someone that's on the ragged edge of life, so dedicated to their mission that they've lost themselves along the way. Kind of a little bit of a tragic figure, but at the same time has potential for roleplay and has potential to be useful in your Planescape campaigns. So we're done with this story. Thank you so much. Likes, follows, subscribes, comments are appreciated. Feel free to join us over on my Twitch channel. We hang out there Tuesday through Friday, chatting about D&D. Would love to have you in for a live chat as well. But above all else, thank you for your time. We appreciate you. I hope you are enjoying this series, and you'll join us for some more. Do the thingies, push the buttons, do the shares, do all of that, man. But we'll be back for more soon. You guys take care.